Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 18th or 19th. I think it's the 19th, 17, 18, 19th, 2021. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel because Jesus is the gospel. So we're picking up in chapter 4, verse 16. Let me begin at verse 14. Do not enter the path of the wicked. Do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it. Do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass on. So we're, again, looking at a lifestyle. Don't live that life. Don't think like they... If you don't think like they think, then you're not going to live the life they live. For they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong. They are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. Wow, this is... talking about humanity here. There are people who enjoy causing people to stumble. I can't remember who this was. A comedian was telling about a friend from high school who had a special room off his bedroom. I think it was John Mulaney. That's his name, John Mulaney, comedian John Mulaney. I think that's his name. But he was telling about a friend he had from high school who basically would go to parties, and then at the parties he would sneak around the premises and he would steal any antique photos he could find. And John Mulaney asked him, like, why did he do that? And he said, because it's the only thing they can't replace. Now, that is this particular type of evil. Now, John Mulaney presented it in a humorous way, but it is pretty pathetic to think of a person just stealing antique photos because they know that's the thing that person will cherish. If someone stole their TV, they could replace it. If they stole other valuables, they could replace them. But the antique photo of a great-great-grandfather from the Civil War or something like that, they're irreplaceable, and that's why he took them. Just for that satisfaction. It's like this, for they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong. They are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. He did it just to make people's lives miserable. It's a pathetic, just shows you the heart of humanity. That is the sinfulness of sin. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of righteousness is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until the full day. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and they drink the wine of violence. There is a certain lifestyle that leads to violence. This is another thing that our culture is just in denial of and the reality of. This is where this entire... Just the general culture's view of police officers now. As if there is not a lifestyle that leads to violence. Right? It's just, some of this is just common sense because God has created us in such a way as to see reality. But when we mask reality with world views like critical theory or critical race theory that cloud reality, then all of a sudden the perpetrators of violence become the victims and they become the heroes, when so many are not heroes and they're not victims, but they're drinking the wine of violence. And it is tragic and sad that we don't live in a culture that recognizes that, because you can't break cycles unless you recognize the reality of where the cycles come from. But the path of righteousness is like the light of dawn. Right? There's a contrast to these two ways of living because they come from two different ways of thinking. You know, Paul says that in Thessalonians. You know, we're not people of the night, we're people of the day. So we live sober lives. We're awake spiritually. But the path of righteousness is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until the full day. So this is the whole thing about the Christian life. Our Christian lives should have a consistency that grows over the years, and they should become brighter and brighter until the full day when Christ returns. Now, what has God said to you today? What do you